Hi everyone, welcome to your Week 6 ConnectsU launch, and this one is going to be about implementing your plan. Your weekly objective for this week is by the end of the week you should be able to say, I can identify my preferred learning style and explain several characteristics of that learning style. So again, we're on the self-directed learning cycle. We've already worked through setting a goal, planning to reach that goal, and now is the part where you're actually doing the learning. So when you're implementing the plan, this is the phase that you are following through on the steps that you outlined in your plan in hopes of learning. But it's very important to adjust your plan as needed. If something's not working, you continue to do really poorly in English, rather than just repeating the same plan and getting the same results, you need to make sure you're modifying and adjusting that plan so that you can actually do more learning in your particular learning style. So when you're learning at CPDLF, according to elearningindustry.com, you should know the norms and expectations of your cyber school. So knowing that we expect you to work 5 days a week, work in every class, basically that we don't accept blank assignments and those kind of things. And also knowing that there's help at Learning Lab, you can join group chats, you can get on Zoom sessions with your instructors and attend office hours. There's lots of ways to get that help. But you have to be able to do these kind of things in cyber school. You have to be or be willing to become tech savvy. You need to work with others effectively. It might not necessarily be another peer, but it means that you need to be working with your instructor and staying in constant communication with them. You need to stay organized and submit your assignments on time or as close to on time as possible. And you need to be self-disciplined. So if you're not willing to do those things, it's very unlikely that you're going to be a successful cyber learner. So make sure that you're trying to do those 4 things and then creating your plan to do better learning. It's important to know your learning style and study accordingly. There's 3 main learning styles, and you can remember them from the acronym VAC. That stands for visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. And I'm sure this is not the first time you're hearing this. This does typically get discussed once a year, but it is important to kind of self-assess and know where you fall and which one you fall into. It's also possible to be part, visual and auditory or visual and kinesthetic. You might be a combination of more than one learning style. So visual learners, they prefer the use of images, maps, and graphic organizers to access and understand new information. Some of their strengths include they easily visualize objects, they're good organizers, they're color-oriented, they pay good attention to detail. But there's some study strategies to help. So if you are a visual learner, make sure you're studying in a manner that's going to follow your strengths. It's important one possible thing is to color code your notes. For example, you could, if you're looking at key terms and writing down the key terms, you could highlight all the nouns in blue and all the the adjectives in green and the adverbs in yellow, something like that. So making sure you're color coding your notes. You want to keep your notebooks organized. If you're a visual learner, organization is key, and you want to make sure that you are, having space in your notebook for each subject or an entirely different notebook altogether. You want to study the charts, graphs, tables, and maps in your text. So more so than actual reading the text, you should play into your strong suits, which is look at those graphics on the text. And so anytime you're in an OdysseyWare lesson or a summit and you see a chart or a graph, look at the chart and even read the part underneath it and see what it's trying to say. But I think that graphic is really going to help you. So pay attention to those graphics. Draw pictures or diagrams to accompany the information you're trying to learn. Watch documentaries or videos and make to-do lists. And also it's important to study in solitude. You do your best work when you're by yourself. Auditory learners best understand new content through listening and speaking in situations such as lectures and group discussions. Their strengths are explaining ideas, writing responses, storytelling, listening to directions, participating in discussions. And there's study strategies that you should look to do is to work in quiet areas to reduce distractions and all outside noise. Use mnemonics, rhymes, and jingles and repetition to try to remember what you're studying. Use text-to-speech apps to assist with your reading. So they're built in OdysseyWare, and if you do not have one and you're in the SLP, we can install one on your computer. Use voice typing on Google Docs. You all have access to Google Docs. You all have access to the voice typing feature. So this is a nice way to kind of put your thoughts into text, and all you'd have to do is speak into the microphone and it types down what you're saying. Attend instructor Zoom sessions to ask questions. Watch and listen to instructor launches, and to read your notes aloud. And the last one is kinesthetic learners. They are the ones who best understand information through hands-on activities and tactile representations of information. So tactile representations means just kind of things that are tangible, things you can touch. Their strengths include hand-eye coordination, quick reactions. They might be good at sports, have high levels of energy, perform well in art and drama, and good experimenters. Some study strategies that kinesthetic learners should implement. Try standing instead of sitting. So you don't always have to sit, but maybe if you're at home, stand at the kitchen counter, or try to do something where you're actually more active. Combine physical activity with studying. For example, have a family member ask you questions to study while you're shooting foul shots, or read a chapter and then get down and do 20 push-ups or something. Just keep yourself physically active and combine it with your studying. Keep your hands busy. So bounce a tennis ball, use a fidget spinner, twist a rubber band, something that you like to do to keep your hands active so that your brain can concentrate on what it's working on. So for a reflection for this week, I would like you to, in a private comment, respond to the following question. In what ways could CPDLF improve its ability to meet your unique needs so that you are successful in cyber school?